There we go.
All right. Well, everyone, we appreciate you hopping on here today. As I think you saw from the communications previously, we've got a representative from the Administrative Office of the Courts in Arkansas, Jason Kennedy, on here with us
Being recorded.
to talk about the new ARCourts website and the interface that they've got there. Just to give you a little background, this is kind of the result of a number of conversations that have been ongoing since the earlier part of this year when we became aware of the change, and tip of the cap to the Administrative Office of the Courts. They've been great just in accepting feedback from us and implementing some changes just based on that feedback. And then on top of all that, agreeing to provide this service of doing a webinar for our membership. And so, Jason, we're really appreciative of your time here. This is a very important site for our members. It's something that we use daily, and so it's just extremely important for our folks. But we're looking forward to hearing what you have to say and you walking us through the new site and all the functionality and what's to come. But with all that being said, I'll kind of hand it over to you and let you take it from here.
Thank you, Brian, very much. And thank you, Melissa. And we understand how important that this site is to you. And I want you to understand that we appreciate the important role that y'all play in our system of government and the real estate workings of the state. Y'all are important. And as Brian said, we have listened to your feedback and made changes already based on that feedback. And I want to start this conversation off with the fact that this is an evolutionary system. Means it's going to continue to grow and change and adapt based off the feedback that people such as yourselves gives us. We are not done. It's never going to just be put on a shelf and say, well, that one's done. We're going to continue improving it, working on it, and making it the best system. Because truly, we want to make y'all the best possible system in the world for what it is that we do and what y'all do. So that's our goal. So your feedback after this meeting, at the end, I'm going to ask questions and I want your ideas and suggestions. And we're going to take that and we're going to work on it. What you see today is not what you're going to see in 3 months or 6 months. And what you see in 3 or 6 months is not what you're going to see in a year or two. So it's going to be continuous improvement based off the feedback that people such as yourselves gives us. So I just wanted to make sure y'all hear that first. Okay, I need to be able to share my screen. It says host disabled participant screen sharing. So.
No, I'm working on it. Hang on one sec. There you go.
That's fine.
There you go.
Excellent. Okay. All right. Make sure everybody can see my case search screen. Give me a thumbs up or a nod or something. Excellent. Okay. This right here, for those that may not know, is what we are hoping to replace Court Connect and we kind of have. But Court Connect is still in existence for those of you that have issues with change. If you ever want to go and find Court Connect, you can go to this little icon right here and click on that. And that'll take you right to the old website. All right. So for those of y'all who are interested in that, that's there. Now, we are not going to sunset Court Connect anytime soon. The idea is that eventually that we will do that, but it's not anytime soon. We want to make sure that we...
If I could interject real quick, hey, crew, if you will, please make sure you're muting your lines. We're getting a little bit of overlap with Jason's presentation. Thank you.
Okay. But yeah, no. So for those of you that are people who, I know that is a big concern for some people, but that it's not going to go away anytime soon. But eventually, hopefully we have everything y'all need built into ARCourts system that we won't need it anymore and we can sunset it. But that is our long-term goal, but it's not anything that's going to happen anytime soon. But let's go ahead and go through the new system and kind of show you how the functionality of it works and how it's designed. Basically, we have a to search function built in where we have an initial search parameter for looking up cases by case number. That's for someone who knows a case number. You want to go straight to it. The other way to search is through participant search. And participant is basically anybody who is a participant on a case. And a participant means it's somebody who's involved in that case. And you can do this through many different means. You could do it by first name, full name, last name, or an organization, or even a case description. It's a case it's State versus McCain. You could put that in there. You'd find State versus McCain. Or if you wanted to look up some individual or a company, you just go here and go like 7 Brew and hit search, okay? And that brings you up this general disclaimer. If you decline this search, it'll just take you right back to the beginning and you won't be able to proceed. But if you accept it, will take you forward. And you can see here that we have a list of some results with 7 Brew is a participant in these courts cases, one way or the other. If you want to go into one of these court cases, let's pick this one right here. And you have a description of that case here at the top. That's the case description. And it gives you the summary of that case. You see that it's come from a separate tab. It's given you a new tab all the way together. And you go through here and you see this navigation to the right on the left-hand side. You go, if you want to go straight to the docket entries, you go hit that. If you want to go to participants, you can hit that. So there's navigation on the left-hand side. If you wanted to go down the docket entries and see if you want to see the complaint, you can just select that button right there. And once again, it's going to pop up that complaint. It's going to be on a new tab. You see, you have this tab here, and you have that's your case description, and you have the other tab with the complaint. All right. If you wanted to save that, you can hit that save button and save that however you wish. If you wanted to print that, obviously you built that in there. You can print it on, however you want. You can even print it to a PDF if you wanted to. Print a PDF and email it to somebody if you wanted to. So we have that functionality is all built in. This system is designed to work on every device, mobile device, from an iPhone or any other kind of smartphone to an iPad. We test it in every possible contraption, and so it will work the same as you can see here. I can show you the testing on this, and that's what it's going to look like on a smaller device. So it is designed to work and function basically mobile first is how we've been building this, and that's how we designed it. So that's how you do the basic searches, bringing up cases, and be able to print up ideas. Is there any basic questions on that first part of how to do that? A little hint that I always like to give people: if you want to clear a search, hit the ARCourts icon at the top. Clears you, goes back to the initial search. Does anybody have any basic questions on that first part? Let me go ahead and do another search. Now, if I just put in Tom Jones, you can see I bring up a whole list of 528 results. You notice I didn't just get Tom Jones. I got Thomas Jones. I've got Tommy Jones, and I have Tom Jones. So I have, it gives you what we call an alias search as well, built into the system. So if you can go in here and you can pick it whatever you want. Now this here's we call this is these are all movable. You can move them any way you like, one way or the other. Sorry about that. Cancel that. So these are all movable and they're all sortable. If I want to sort them high to low, I can do that with this button right here. Okay. If I want to look up something specific, let's say I can go in and find that. Okay. Keynes Jones. If I want to see the junior, I go in there and see there. So it's all built into the system. It's the same search. You have the same parameters. I can go in there and I can filter and sort through all this with these little buttons here. Party type. same kind of thing. If I want to see just those where they're the defendant or decedent, I can do that. Okay. So is the decedent. So I can do Tommy Jones, decedent. I can do that search. If I want to do a specific case search, say I want to see only civil cases, it'll break it down to me in those civil suits. If I want to do a certain court case, like a case in a certain court, if I know it's not why that's coming up, that's weird. But yeah. It will go ahead and filter out those for me. And so this is a lot of really powerful, you know, different things you could do here. Another thing we have in the option to do is, give me 1 second, is we have rows per page down here. You can do 25. You could do a 50 row search. You can do a 100 row search. And that's going to show you the first 100 of however many there are. So there's a lot of powerful tools here in this field right here that you could use. Case type, say if you wanted to find an equity case, you find those. So, I mean, this right here, if you wanted to find, a certain date, you could do it that way. It has a lot of functionality built into the system automatically to really go in there and, if you wanted to find a case and you knew kind of a case number was, say, if I knew a specific date, I could go in there and I can select that date. If I want to know kind of a range, let's say I know it's after a certain date, it'd give you all the cases after that date. If I know it's before this date, it'd give you the cases before that date. There's a lot of functionality built into this system on the design to give you a lot of tools to make sure that you're able to sort through the stuff. And you also notice that it runs a lot faster. And the old Public Court Connect, I would usually, when I worked for Pulaski County Clerk's Office, I would basically break the system with the searches that I would do. I try to run a search, and I'd have to basically run the search in 30-day increments. Otherwise, I'd break the system. This is here, you can see that I've not been putting any limitations on it. It runs the entire database, the 30 million records, every time. So it's a lot more powerful of a search. It runs it much quicker, and it runs a lot easier. But yeah, there's all these filters. There's all this power in here. And it can really do pretty much whatever it is that you want to do. It's just a matter of you taking the time to go in there and doing the searches and playing with it. If you have a last name, like a hyphenated last name, you can do this, put the last name in, and it's going to run that search for you. You're going to find Madison here. Okay. You could do it with any combination of names. Say if you wanted to do somebody like that with middle initial, it's going to run that up too. Like I said, if you can run that list, then you can go in here and put contains junior. It will bring up that person. That person is junior, so it brings it up pretty easily. But yeah, so this right here gives you a lot of functionality, a lot of tools, and the ability to go in there and really refine your searches and to find it quickly and easily. That's how it's designed. Is there any questions about any of the functionality or tools on the participant search? Let me do you some how to do an advanced search. Let's say that I wanted to run and this button right here is for an advanced search, but that button, it brings you up let's say I want to do a search for a Jerry Young, but I only want to do it in Garland County. Hit that button right there, and it brings up 74 results there in Garland County. But if I wanted to do, say, I knew a birthday, if I'm looking for somebody I knew their birthday, I hit that search, it'll bring you down to just those cases for that one person. And if I know the driver's license number here, it bring that up as well. It's one of those things, if you're doing research on an individual, you know the name, the driver's license number, the date of birth, it really focuses you in on the kind of cases you have. Then you can go into those cases and you look to see if they're a defendant in a civil case. And that will, you'll know whether or not that person has those kind of cases that you're looking for. This person looks to be someone who likes to drive fast. But yeah, so it's one of those things where this machine, this system is built to do massive searches very fastly, give you the information, and allow you to go in there and customize it out as you wish, as you desire. Is there a question in the chat? Okay. Yes, that's a good question. If the system has the person as date of birth attached to that case, you'll break it up. That is a limitation. Not every one of our court cases has the date of birth in them. We know that is part of the system that we have, because in most of the the civil suits that we've been filed in the past, they had a name and sometimes an address, most of the times an address, but not every time. But they didn't have date of birth, they didn't have social security numbers, so it's a lot harder to define that person out. I know that, done those searches myself. But it's a tool. It's not comprehensive. We're working on ways to do person matching and trying to identify individuals and give you better information. We've done some of those algorithms into the background of this search, but I can't promise you it's 100%. Any other questions?
Jason, I've got one.
Go ahead, Brian.
If you've got let's say a 2-character last name or first name, is the
Yes.
system able to process that?
Yeah. This is one of those things that y'all brought up to our attention, and let's do a Wu. See, last name Wu. I got 126 results. This is one of the changes, Brian, that you brought to our attention, and this is completely my fault for being an idiot and not thinking about this one all the way through. They gave it to me in December, so they wanted it out in January. And like, okay, great. So you give me 6 weeks over Christmas. Appreciate that. No problem. We'll get right on it. But we got it out. But yeah, this is one of the things that we missed. Wu, if you want to do a 2-character search, now how it's designed, if you do, like I said, I showed you the middle initial, it will do that as well. When it's less than 3 characters, it's going to give us an exact search. So it's going to run through and find everything that's exactly a match to that. If it's 3 or more, it's going to give you a starts with search. That's how we get the Tom, to get Tommy and the Thomases and all that kind of stuff. So it does a different kind of search based on the number of characters that you put in. But yeah, we can run a 2-character search in there, and you can find a D or a Woo or a Lou or however it is you want to do. But yeah, that is one of the improvements. Brian, you brought it to our attention, and we literally did the old palm slap to the face when you mentioned that. And we're like, yeah, we should have done that one better. But we got that one. We got that as a fix. That's the kind of thing we need. We need the feedback, because they give us 6 weeks and tell us to build a new system, and sometimes we get things that aren't all the way thought through. So that's how we would run a participant search. Like I said, you could do it by court. You can limit it down to, I only want to see it in this court or this county. If you know the driver's license number, you can put that in. It'll run it. You can see my we've already shown you. Y'all are all trustworthy people, right? There's my driver's license number. You can see that it's going to bring up me and my Game and Fish Commission violations. But yeah, they changed the rules on me. I didn't read the instructions. So those
So
things
Jason,
happen.
I see another question in the
Go
chat
ahead.
about finding small estates for a county for the last 6 months and how that type of search
Okay.
could be completed.
Yeah, let's go through that and let's do a case search. Let's do a case type search, which say small state. And let's say Pulaski County. And let's say since beginning of the year to today. How's it already the 18th of April? But it is. And let's run that search. And I got 248 small states in Pulaski County so far this year. I always refer to these as works as fiction. I mean, this might as well be paperbacks that are on the shelf with, pictures of Fabio in the front, because I've never read one of them that I believed 100% was accurate, but that's neither here or there. But yeah, this is part of the case search. I was about to get to that part, how to run them by cases. Once again, you can clear that search, go up to ARCourts if you want. If you know a case number, obviously enter the case number and it'll bring it up. If it's not a publicly available case, you're not going to see it. So like this number right here, there's a reason why you're not able to see that number. I can't tell you what that is. But yeah, if it's not publicly available, it will not be in this database. The way we designed this is we took all the information from the original database, and if it was what we have was we called publicly available or level 1 data, we put it into a new database, and it's that new database that we're running the search off of, and thus why this system is so much faster in doing the searches than the previous system is because we do a filter in advance. Basically, we only put information that's supposed to be publicly available into the system. Now, I say it that way because human error does occur. And if the humans at the courts do not input the information correctly, they did not code it correctly, they put the wrong information in or the wrong security levels on it, information can get into the system that we're not supposed to have. And it takes us a little bit of time to figure that out and filter that out. But it's running constantly. It takes about 20 seconds from someone in a courtroom or a courthouse somewhere in the state to process before it gets into the system. I've called friends of mine who work in courts and say, okay, hit approve, and then I hit the timer on my phone and counted how many seconds it took before we got the information into this system, and it's about 20 seconds. So it works pretty quick. What other questions do we have, Brian or Melissa?
Yeah, we've got one here. It says, I've received a message saying too broad of a search. And if
Okay.
I get out and I go back in, it doesn't say that anymore. Can
Okay.
you elaborate on why this user might be running into that?
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes we have designed this for an automatic failover, and like happened like yesterday, we had it fall over to a different instance, which is basically it's a hosting service through our cloud. It's all cloud based now. Be honest with you, we are currently having an issue where we have some kind of a bot is hitting our APIs right now, and it caused us to do a failover yesterday. And when it falls over to a backup instance, that backup instance isn't as powerful as the initial instance, and sometimes it doesn't work quite right. Also, we have designed it. If I put nothing here and hit search, it's going to say I need to do something like that. So we do have some built-in functionality, like you have to search for something. And other times it's just as simple as we're having some problems with the network, and it's not the A team playing. That's something we're working on, trying to make it more resilient. Also, that could be another issue. Let's do automobile tort. Let's go, our friends in Benton County. Once again, you can see that if you go in here and it's type ahead. You want to see Sebastian or Severe or Cersei, you can just type in those numbers and it jumps ahead to it. If you want to see Pulaski, you'll go to that. So those are nice little things. and automobile tort, and you know that's going to be in Pulaski Circuit. However, whatever county you put here, it's going to give you the listing of the courts in that county. It pretty much filters that for you. So it kind of narrows it down for you as well. So we know if you're looking for Pulaski County information, you're going to only be able to search the cases in that county that matches. So we kind of built that in for you. Let's say the range, let's just try it without a range and see if we can get it to say yes. Wow, it did it. All right. Was expecting it to time out, but it didn't. It gave us the 15,239 records. And that's, again, you could sort that however you want. And going back to 2000, sort, and you can go to 99. It displays that because that's how computers see that number there. If you wanted to see something in, say, 19, it should be able to give you all the cases that have a 19 in it. And once again, you go into your filing date and you could, pick a day and before or after or is. So those are your options. But yeah, sometimes you get one of those, you just need to refine your search a little bit, or the system is running on the backup. Those are the reasons why.
Okay. Well, thank you for addressing that. I've got another question here that says sometimes we cannot find the names we search for, but we know there's a file or a case for it. They give an example of the name Charles Callahan.
Charles Callahan. Okay. Spell Callahan for me.
The way they've spelled it here is Callahan.
Okay. There's a couple possible reasons for that. One, the case that they're looking for could be not a publicly available case. Let's say if the person in question, let's say it's a case that's been sealed by the action of a judge, you will not be able to find it in the system. If it's a certain case type, let's say an adoption case, you're not going to be able to find it in the system. This is going to be for publicly available, public level cases.
The probate, it's a probate and it's public.
The probate and it's public. Okay.
Yes, sir, in Johnson County.
In Johnson County. All right. Let's go here and I don't know the answer to that one. We'd have to look at that individual case. There could be
We have found several ones that we have the names.
Yeah.
And we look by the names, but there's nothing. And we look by the case and it's there.
You happen to have the case number?
Yes, it's 36 PR 23 dash 23 dash 32.
Okay, 36 what?
PR as in probate.
Okay.
That dash 23 dash 32.
Sure. Well, okay. It's ROD, and is what I have as his name.
Yeah, and I think we had Charles was the name we had in the chat.
Yeah.
I wonder if you go back and search that by Roger, if
my file too.
by name search.
Yeah. That's the description of it is Charles R. Callahan, but the petitioner is Roger Allen Callahan. So the reason why you're not finding it under Charles is because we're searching it by the participant's name, and the participant is by Roger, RODGER.
So is there a way to make that description at the top searchable too?
It is actually. if you go to, if you do it in this box right here, in this case description box, it should be able to find it that way. Let's see, which is a Charles Callahan.
That's correct.
That Charles spelled correctly?
Looks correct, yes.
Let's see, should work. Was 36 was the Well, that's strange.
Is it if you type Charles into the case description field? Well, there, yeah, still not.
Well, see, I have there a Michael Charles Callahan. That's strange. How do they spell Roger? R-O-D?
DGER, yeah.
It was in Johnson County, if I remember correctly.
That's correct.
So that came right up. That's a good question. Well, Charles R. Callahan. Maybe it has to be the exact, maybe. Sometimes it tries to be too helpful. See if that works. Like I said, this is a system that we are working on, and we will work on it to make sure it gets better. If it doesn't work quite right, we'll try to do it better. Did we find it? We found it. See, there it is. So how would do that would be go to your participant search, and then on this box down here, just put in the case description. And it found it that way.
Yeah, and I guess the issue for our crew, Jason, with that is that if you've got to put the R in and you don't necessarily
Know
know
that?
the R, we don't always
Yep.
have all those details. And so I don't know if there's a way to allow for more of a fuzzy search within that description in functionality.
We are working on improving the fuzzy search, Brian.
Okay.
And that's one of those things that we are going to try to improve over the next couple of months, is to improve that fuzzy search a little bit.
Okay.
But it's there. It's just you have to ask it the right questions, and finding examples like this is why we're doing these kind of meetings and meeting with people and trying to show and ask questions, because I don't know how everything will work the way you do. I've done thousands of these, and I worked in the courts for 15 years before coming here. But I don't know it as well as y'all do. And it's and you're the ones that are you do it every day, and you're our important people we need the feedback from.
Well, we appreciate you. Yeah,
What
being
else
willing
do
to take
y'all
the
want to know or see?
if you're open to more questions, we've got
Yeah,
a few more in the chat here.
go
The next
ahead.
is, can you search an entity name in the last name field?
Yeah. Give me, let's say, you're gonna get just Johnson. You're gonna get a phone book.
Well, we were looking earlier at Seven
Yeah.
Brew. If you search the Seven Brew name in the last name field, would that pull results there?
Let's clear that search. Let's try this again. I did it down here in this box. which is the organization box. And that's how I found it previously. But it would probably work as well in the last name. I've broken the system now. There we go. So that's how that's how we designed it, is for batteries running low. System is designed to run, participant like organizations here, but I think it would work that way as well. Yeah, there you go. If it's put in that way, you will find it.
Okay. The next question on the list is there any way to get rid of the duplicate results?
We are efforting that right now. Yes, that is a known bug, and we are working on resolving that as we speak, and we hope to have that done in the next couple of months.
Okay. The next I see here is sorry, I'm trying to sort through this. And
all right,
I've,
I'm about
I've
to
got
lose power.
I've got one, Brian.
okay.
Because the dead person is not listed, you have to call county for them to add as
A decedent.
a decedent.
And I think that's intended to be.
I think we lost. Our person.
Jason, you still out there? It looks like he just mentioned that he had gotten a battery alert. So y'all hang with us here. I'm sure Jason will try to hop back on here.
But we'll definitely get answers to your questions if he doesn't pop on in a. And y'all email me. You can email, or I guess you can email directly to Jason. We'll get his email address.
I'm going to mute myself for just a second, just try to catch Jason real quick and see if he's in the process of back on. Jason is jumping back on right now, so he should be back here in just a minute. Thank you all for your patience, and thank you for the questions. This is one of the reasons I wanted to do this, to get our people some more exposure to the background to this whole system and what the AOC is trying to do, but also to give them feedback. And they've been very receptive to that in the past. As I mentioned previously, they've made a lot of changes just based on the feedback we've gotten from a lot of you. And I know that they're open, as Jason has indicated, to taking that and making changes and trying to make this as effective of a system as we possibly can. And as Jason had mentioned previously, that's a question I've gotten time and again, was about the sunset of the old AOC Court Connect side. And they don't have any intentions of bringing that down until they've assured me, until they feel comfortable that that all of the stakeholders are comfortable with the status of the new site. So looks like Jason's coming back on right now. Jason, are you there?
Here, can you hear me?
Yes.
Give me 1 second. I apologize for that. My entire system just collapsed on me.
It happened.
What were we talking about?
Yeah, I think
Kelly.
there was a comment, I think maybe more than a question, about if a dead person is not listed, that maybe you've got to call the county to add them as a decedent. I'm not, and I think this came from Jennifer Winkler. Jennifer, if you got any further clarification on the question there, feel free to chime in or unmute yourself and ask. But just want to make sure we get your question answered.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hey, what it was, I had a probate in Madison County that we could find it under the class the case description, but it wasn't coming up as a participant because the county, when they inputted it, they did not have him as a decedent as a participant. So that's why it wasn't pulling up as a participant, that it was just pulling up as the case description. So so I actually had to call the county so they could actually put him and list them as a decedent as a participant for the file so that they could so we could actually pull it.
Sure. So similar to what we were looking at a moment ago, the name was simply in there in the description, not as a participant, at least in that fashion, and it wasn't searchable. No, that's good feedback, and I think that's where maybe that expansion of like the fuzzy search capabilities, even in the description field, could make it a little bit better. As Jason was saying, that's something they're working on. Thank you, Jennifer.
No, you're entirely correct. That's exactly what that one we just went through in Johnson County was. It's they didn't add the participant for the last, and the person I guess who died as a participant, they had on to put them in the case description. That's why it didn't come up in the original search. But yeah, you're right. User input, user error is going to cause us to have errors on our display, and if they don't do it the way we expect them to do it, it'll be hard for us to find. And that's why we are working on improving the fuzzy search.
Okay. I've got another comment here, Jason. This is from Michelle. It says, is there a way, I think kind of the question is there a way for on sealed cases for it to say case unavailable, or is that even a possibility?
Unfortunately, the way it's, we'll talk about that. It might be something we can maybe improve. The way we were said, basically the case didn't exist, and so we didn't even load it. That might be an improvement we can do going forward. I mean, I'll bring it back and talk to our staff with and see what we can do maybe on that. What else?
Great. Next question is it possible to add a wildcard search option? And the example given is like you've got a name that starts with CHAR, add a wildcard character to that, last name Johnson.
The way it's assigned is you can do CHAR and hit go, and it will find it that way. We don't have to even have to have the wild card. It will work.
So kind of the root expander or the wild card is built in if you just type in the characters that you know. Okay.
As low as 3 characters, it will do it. So if you have 3, the first 3 of the person's name, like his name is, Schlegel, and you don't know how to spell it, you just do the SCH and hit go. First name Mary, last name Schlegel, and you just go Mary MAR, and the last name Schlegel SCH, and hit go, and it'll find it.
Okay.
We'll find all the other ones that are similar to it as well.
Okay. We've got another question. This is in the form of an example. It says, example is searching the name total site, SITE. And if they run it in the last name field, it pulls 5 results. If they run it in the organization field, it pulls 2 results. And I think just trying to get some clarification on the discrepancy between those two.
I don't know how it'd be had. I have to look at it. What was it again?
Total, TOTAL, and then site, SITE.
SITE total site. Okay. And it's 2 cases up. Okay. And then if I do it, you say the last name.
Last name. Yeah. And if you've still got the ability to share your screen, Jason,
Yeah,
please feel
let's
free to
do
do that
that.
too. And if you don't, let us know. And I think Melissa authorized that previously.
Can y'all see that screen?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. All right, you're right. Let's see. My initial thought. I don't have a good answer because I don't know right now. That's something we'll have to look into. I don't know why that's coming up.
Okay.
Total site development is defended. That's odd. I don't know the answer to that.
Are each of those search fields pointing to a specific field in the database? I mean, is there
Yes, they
a
are.
given organization field and then there's a given last name field?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's just dependent upon how it was keyed at the county level.
I believe that's probably correct.
Okay.
But yeah, that's strange. Something we'll have to look into.
Okay.
That's something we can maybe put on the improvement board.
And then the last one that I see on the list right now is what if you only have a 2-character first name? We talked about that one earlier. From what I think, we may have searched a 2-character last name earlier, if I'm not mistaken. But I assume that works the same way for
It
2-character.
should work the same way. Mm-hmm. I don't know if there's any. There it is. See,
Okay.
it'll work.
Great.
Any other questions? And I apologize for the machine running out of power on you.
We appreciate you jumping back on as quickly as you did.
Well, we're about out of time, everyone, and I want to value your time. I have if you have questions, please, thank you first of all for listening. You can send me an email. It's Jason, JASON .Kennedy, KENNEDY at ARCourts.gov. And if you have feedback or questions or things you'd like to see better, send it to me. We'll work on it. Can't promise you we'll have it done, and I won't promise you we'll be done soon, but we are working on it. This is evolutionary, and we're trying to make it the best system in the world. That's our goal.
Well, Jason, thank you again for hopping on here and walking through this, first of all, with us, and for your willingness to entertain questions and
No problem.
walk through these examples and take some feedback. I think that's one thing our crew is definitely good at. We've got people who have been doing this research for a long time, and
Yes.
they'll, if there's a way to break the system with this type of a system, our crew is pretty good at finding any way to do it, or at least to try to identify some opportunities for improvement. But all in all, I can personally say I'm really excited about the new interface and the simplicity of it, and I really am encouraged by what this new site will bring for our industry in the state, and I appreciate all the work you all are doing and your willingness to listen to us.
Well, again, I'm grateful, and I'm always available if you need me.
Thank you so much. Thank you all for attending and for all the great questions. We'll let you get back to your day.